started to write me, not just me, the whole cast. Martin Mull and I were friends until the very end of his. It was really heartwarming for me. I adored him, and we worked together in so many other things. People were always putting us together, which we loved, you know. But we talked a lot, and he would say, "Are you getting this kind of fan mail?" And I'm getting like, "Yeah." And it just started to multiply and grow exponentially, and then it became this, you know, this cult classic, and it's just a joy for all of us who are still here to really take this in, and because we loved it so much, and to have this love come pouring back at us is huge. So thank you.
Episode of Psych called called 100 Clues, and you were reunited with Martin Mull and Christopher Lloyd, and it's essentially a love letter to the movie. And so I'm curious, was the creator Stephen Franks, was the cast, were they just all picking your brains in terms of, you know, maybe we should try this, maybe we should try that, you know, let's put this in, this is a, you know, love letter to the movie?
You know, honestly, they were like you all. They were such huge fans. They were such huge fans that they were, you know, just so excited to be being a part of, you know, an episode that dealt with Clue. They were so thrilled. So they didn't really, you know, necessarily come up with ideas. The writers had a very strong idea of how it would go. It was interesting and odd for us to be back trying to recreate some of the feeling of the movie, but they are so funny and so, you know, inventive,
Right.
that it made it a joy for us.
Right. Now, Clue has gone on to live this other life. There's now a stage show version, but there have also been rumors for years that there will be a Clue remake.
I don't want it.
Just answer my question. Well, Jason Bateman has been attached, Ryan Reynolds was attached, and so
They're great. But not for this.
right. I mean, it's, you know, but if it ever got to the point where it was greenlit, the production is underway, they ask you to do a cameo or be part of it in some manner, would you do it?
I mean, it would be interesting. I mean, you know, Miss Scarlett and some assisted living. You know, it's interesting. They've been talking about this for a long time, and it doesn't get done. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see if it ever really does, because I know that Jason Bateman was out of it and just, you know, moved on, and Ryan Reynolds moved on. So, you know, we'll see.
You got it right the first time. There's no need to read it. You know, one thing I think that's missing from our tribe of Clue fans is that I don't believe, have an official name a la Swifties, you know, the Beehive. So, I'm going to throw out some suggestions. You guys if you could possibly crown us with one of the suggestions tonight, that would be wonderful. Okay, so we've got Cluocrat. They just said no. Yeah. We've got Cluvian, Cluey, Cluer, Cluocracy. What was that?
Beatniks.
Okay, so it's up for grabs.
know.
Is there any sort of name that you would possibly suggest?
No.
Oh, like lunatics! Yes! We are so proud. Okay, awesome. So, at the very end of the day, what is it about this movie? Why do you think people have latched onto it?
You know, it's funny. I mean, my husband hadn't seen it when we, when it came out. This is the last time I saw it. And he said, let's watch it again. And we watched it, and I was laughing. It's funny. It's really funny. It's funny. It's smart. It's, I think it's unique. Again, it's a group of incredible actors, comic actors, yeah. And I think it just holds. It just, people get it. And I get mail and people coming up to me who are 9, 10, and 70, it doesn't matter. It just crosses generations, and it's also harmless in a way. It's not, nobody's getting hurt really, except what? Oh, that's right. Yeah, I just think it's a very unique and marvelous, piece of work.
Now, are there any future projects you can tell us about?
Yes, I just finished a television show that was very different. It was fabulous, and I'm very proud of it. It's on ABC, but I'm not allowed to say the name yet. Don't ask, I don't understand any of that, but they want to announce to their own announcement. But it was a very interesting, deep, and kind of a powerful role, which was wonderful. And then I did a short film in New York, and it's called Olive, and it's also very, very moving about losing a loved one, watching a loved one's diminishing from dementia, Alzheimer's. And it's touching and it's beautiful. I loved it. I'm proud of it. And then I did my very first cameo in a sort of psychological horror movie, which I'd never done before. But it was kind of great. There was nothing gory happening in this movie. It was very psychological. So I have these things coming out, and then I'm going to do, working on a one-woman theater piece.
Well, we are going to open it up to the audience for any potential questions. We have people running around with microphones. There's someone there.
We are just very curious. What actually were you eating instead of the fried monkey brains?
They don't let you eat the props, which is a good thing. I don't remember. Honestly, I don't remember. I'm so sorry. I don't remember.
Right here. You got to work with Madeline Kahn, Eileen Brenner. What were they like? Give me your impressions of those actresses. They're phenomenal to watch on screen, so I love your impression.
They are phenomenal. They were brilliant. Excuse me. Madeline is. She was a very private person and serious about the work. Very, came to the set quiet, rather introspective until she worked, and then she delivered what she did. She wasn't as socially involved with the rest of us as some other people were, but perfectly nice and loved to work with actors, her fellow actors. Eileen was just a doll, and so funny. They both were, they're so funny. They're just so different, but so funny. And she was a little bit like her character, I think, the thing is, I think we all have a little bit of the character that we bring to it. That's ours.
along the same lines, Tim Curry and Christopher Lloyd, what are your thoughts?
Tim Curry is a genius. He had the most dialogue, the most to do, and the quickest pace to do it in, and he was pretty flawless. I mean, I don't remember him making, a mistake or going up in a severe way. I mean, he was just incredible to watch, and came very, very prepared, and was a doll, and Christopher was, again, this idea of what your essence is, you sometimes, more often than not, bring to an aspect of character. And he was, he has that, that kind of befuddled sort of odd way of delivering, pieces of information, and they kind of, okay, but so great, so great to work with. Yeah.
All right, well, kind of along the same lines, what was it like to, you mentioned socializing, and perhaps Madeline Kahn is not as interested in socializing, but what was it like to socialize with folks like Martin Mull and Christopher Lloyd and the rest of them, and party with them? What was that like?
We didn't party.
I don't believe it.
I mean, really, we were working hard. You're there 12, 13 hours a day. You don't want to go party, but we got along so well, and we all got along so well. Martin and I stayed friends. We just adored each other, and as I said, we got to do four or five other projects together, and we stayed in contact a lot. We emailed a lot and went to his art shows, and he was just such a special, deep, and hilarious, and brilliant writer. Just such an amazing man. Colleen Camp and I stayed friends, our French maid. Yeah, she's great. And we were both going through some men stuff. So commiserating the trailer. She's great. She's funny and lovely, and was so. And the other thing is, we were all so in love with the material that we were thrilled to be there. We were just really happy to be a part of it.
There you go.
When you were 17, you were the youngest person ever inducted into the artist studio under that Embrace of Method Acting. How did that experience prepare you for diverse roles like Cinderella or Dana Lambert or Miss Scarlet?
Yeah. I carry, to this day, it's very misunderstood with the method in everything I do. I started as a ballet dancer, and what I try to express to people is that, when you go to a ballet class or you start studying ballet, you do the same thing at the bar, you do the same exercises at the bar. Whether you're in Russia or you're in America or anywhere, it's the same craft. And then when you are building that foundation, then you go out and you can dance, having that craft. It's the same thing with the method. As a matter of fact, Lee Strasberg, who was my teacher, used to say, you don't have to use it unless you're in trouble, unless your imagination is not working for you in this regard, or you've lost, or they want you to cry 5 times and you're tired, and so it's a craft, and I take it with me wherever I go.
Thank you so much for taking my question. I was just curious, what was your favorite ending in the
That's what I taught to the rest of us.
You can tweet. He's a doll. And we were both, this is a movie that I did that probably most of you did not see. But it was actually, I was proud of the movie, you know. But there was a scene that he played a male stripper. And I played a teacher who was not used to this kind of world, but we had this love scene. It's a long story. But we had this love scene, and we were both so shy and nervous about it. And so the writer was an Academy Award-winning writer. Her name was Joan Tewksbury. She wrote Nashville, and she was a dance. She had been a dancer. She was on Broadway in Peter Pan, the original Peter Pan. And she basically choreographed it for us, so that you touch in here, then he touches you there. Then you go, head back, I'm making a joke, but I mean, pretty much staged it so that it took away the nervousness for us, so that we could just not worry about what do we do, what do we have to do, So, I'll just tell you a really quick funny story, which is the opposite of that experience. I did a play in Los Angeles at the Mark Taper Forum, which is in the Music Center. It's wonderful theater, and it was a very famous director named Paul Stills. He created Second City, and just a great, brilliant guy. And we were doing the Greek myths, and I was playing, I think, Diana, or one of the, I can't remember exactly, but it was a scene with a woman. And it was supposed to be a love scene, and we were very young. I was 20 or whatever. And instead of doing what I just told you, which made it so easy for us, we went into the rehearsal room and he said, "Okay, I'm going to leave you guys alone, figure it out." Which was, overwhelming. So, yeah, different approaches.
Anybody else?
Hi. Well, first of all, thank you so much for coming here. And I think you're amazing. My question is, did you steal anything from the set? Or get a Cuba souvenir?
No, they're very proprietary about their, props and costumes, and one of the great things when I did Will and Grace is that they give you the clothes, and they were so gorgeous. But this, because it was a period movie essentially, they have warehouses where they, they haven't redone, they haven't reused the Clue costumes because they're so iconic, really. But they keep them and sometimes use them in galleries or museums or whatever. Yeah.
Over here?
Yeah, how much did you ad-lib and how much did you stick to the script? Like, how much, and especially like the other actors too. Like, did you have to ad-lib? Talk to us about that.
We didn't have because the script was very